Welcome everyone. You know what time of day it is? It's XCN time, and in today's video we're going to be discussing what's been happening here on the price, the recent news here on XCN, as well as why I'm still bullish here on Onyx over the coming days. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to this channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you all here. I want to also hear from you guys as well. How do you personally feel about OnyxCoin at this very moment? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What's your outlook for 2025? Let me know down in the comments. It's always good to hear from you guys. So, diving straight into this video and just discussing what's been happening. First and foremost, the bullish picture ahead for this week. First things first. Just in case you missed it, of course, OnyxCoin, a few days ago on March, the 3D made a big announcement, the XCN Goliath mainnet release. Of course, this news event was not the release of the mainnet, but of course it was an announcement of the roadmap that OnyxCoin had for the development of the Layer 1 Goliath mainnet, and that is going to be going live, as you guys can see, in 2026. Of course, the roadmap also included several key milestones, so as you guys can see from their release, here the announcement on March the 3rd on Q2, they had their white paper released, so we get to know more information about CATH. Then in Q3, they're going to be doing the test, network deployment. So that's when we get a first glimpse of OnyxCoin in action. Hopefully, if it lives up to the ambitious targets that they have, this is when we will be able to see that. And in Q1 of 2026, that's when we see the main network actually launch. So this is the roadmap that they currently have. At the moment, of course, I summarized in my last video that this is generally bullish for longer-term holders. It does make sense because they're on its Steam and all the partners like Justin Sun and HTX all have their tokens locked for several years. So there's no point for them to create shorter-term hype on OnyxCoin, of course. Of course, they've not done that. They've only focused on the longer term. And so, of course, there was quite a few people that were frustrated with this release first because of the miscommunication. Of course, a lot of people expecting the mainnet to go live on March the 3rd, and understandably, they were frustrated because you could see in the marketing it wasn't very clear. But nonetheless, for longer-term holders, this should make you happy in general, particularly if they are able to fulfill that. There's a large target market here that OnyxCoin could potentially address with a new blockchain. So if it does succeed, it should bring quite a lot of value to OnyxCoin in the longer term. Of course, we saw the price reaction here on the charts. Right after that news was released, this was the drop in price that we saw quite a bit of a build-up to it as well. So at first glance, it looks like a sell the news event. But in actuality, if we have a look closer at what's been happening in the markets, if I just show XRP along with XCN here, look at the similarities in the charts of XRP, which is his pink line going up here, and XCN, it's almost exactly the same thing. We saw a pump on March 2nd as prices went up, and we saw a massive dump on the day of the XCN announcement. And of course, it just goes to highlight how important the whole market is when talking about the price. Of course, on March the 2nd, Trump announced the Crypto Strategic Reserve, and that's when everything pumped, of course. XRP is meant to be in that reserve. That's why XRP shot up so much, but we also saw XN shoot up quite a lot as well. XCN, as you can see here, actually started pumping a few hours after XRP did its R. Of course, on March the 3rd, we saw a general reversal in the markets. Trump's waste talking about everything, and then that's when we saw XRP basically retrace that whole pump. It's a 1 March. The 2nd again, we saw OnyxCoin follow XRP down, and sound fortunately that Goliath news release coincided with a general market crash. So I don't think the team could have done much anyway to say that with the announcement. Of course, it was just generally bearish on that day. And so this is just a reminder to you guys that at the end of the day, the market is king, of course. There's going to be X-specific news, but if the markets are bearish is not going to matter that much. The market is going to dump the price anyway. And of course, following that line as well, if we go back on OnyxCoin, let's take XRP off here for a second. And so if you look at this pump that we had just before the announcement came out, prices on here headed up 20-30% tops before crashing back down. If you compare that pump to what we saw in mid-January, here where the prices did 20x, this pump here was basically nothing. When look at the size of this, and this again just goes to show you that market and narrative is king in this bull market. Of course, during this 20x pump, there was no internal announcement from XCN. XN didn't announce that they were going to be burning half their supply or something. XN didn't announce that they had a partnership with Donald Trump himself, for example. None of that happened. The OnyxCoin team did not announce anything during this 20x pump that could have reasonably driven the prices up. This was purely community-driven. Of course, the narrative for OnyxCoin was right at the time. There was a large community in OnyxCoin already. I remember my first video here on OnyxCoin, and of course I make videos on quite a few cryptos, but when I made a video on OnyxCoin, it got more views than any other crypto. And it just goes to show me the level of interest in OnyxCoin compared to every other token I make videos on. And it just shows how strong the community is here on OnyxCoin. And I believe that is what matters when you are choosing a token. Of course, it helps when there's new groundbreaking technology that's being made within that crypto. It gives people a reason to believe. But at the end of the day, as long as the community is there and the narrative is correct, that's when we'll see these insane 20x pumps that occur. Of course, OnyxCoin was in the same category as XRP. XRP did its 67x in November there when Trump got elected. And of course, OnyxCoin, being a smaller cap in the same category as XRP, saw a lot of capital rotation from larger cap cryptos like XRP, XLM, HBAR, and those other coins into the smaller caps such as OnyxCoin. And that's why we saw these mad gains. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for in XN. Of course, I do believe we're going to see something like this again in the future. There's a lot of bullish catalysts coming for XDR. And just like I showed you, Sharpie moves quite in tandem with XCN as well. And with that in mind, we've got a major bullish catalyst on March the 7th, which is why I'm bullish on N for at least the next few days. Because on March the 7th, if you've not yet seen, we've got this first ever crypto summit happening in the White House. And of course, just recently, it's been confirmed that we are going to get an address of what's going to happen with the Crypto Strategic Reserve. What assets are going in there? How it's going to work? Is the U.S. government actually buying crypto? Or is it just going to use Bitcoin and other questions to do with the Crypto Strategic Reserve? Of course, Trump left the door open for other cryptos to be included in this reserve as well. He didn't just say that Bitcoin, EOS, and XRP were in this reserve. He said other valuable cryptocurrencies as well. Of course, OnyxCoin is made in the USA crypto. So, I mean, it is a long shot, but if OnyxCoin does get an allocation in this reserve, that would be absolutely nuts. But even if it doesn't, that doesn't matter anyway. It's still going to be bullish for XCN because at the end of the day, I 100% see XRP pumping into this news. Of course, over the next few days, I expect XRP to be bullish, and therefore if XRP is bullish, then we should see XN bullish as well. On top of that as well, we could get a major surprise, maybe other large payment coins such as Harar, such as XLM, such as Ono, also see themselves potentially included in this reserve. Of course, Trump hasn't mentioned it yet, so if Trump at any point announces that he's going to include some of these coins, that should create a bullish surprise that should absolutely pump the coins that he does mention that he has not yet mentioned. And of course, again, I do expect that to be even more bullish. Before you go, if you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button. It helps others discover our content. Sharing your thoughts in the comments sparks killer discussions, and subscribing ensures you never miss an update in this fast-paced market. Let's hit 1,000 subscribers by next week. You're just one click away from joining the squad.